We are on the record, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, please note the following. All Bernardsville Borough Planning Board meetings will be held in person at the meeting hall on the second floor of the Bernardsville Municipal Building at 166 Brook Road. Effective February 12th, 2026, planning board meetings will begin at 7 p.m. Meetings will be live streamed on YouTube, where there's no opportunity for public comment. Members of the public wishing to offer comments or ask questions will be required to attend meetings in person. YouTube live stream access for all meetings is at YouTube at Bernardsville Borough/streams. This link will also be available on the agenda for each meeting, which is posted on the Borough website, Bernardsville.gov, and on the Borough Hall Public Bulletin Board at least 48 hours prior to meetings. Notice of these changes has also been emailed to the Bernardsville News and the Courier News, posted on the Borough website and filed with the municipal clerk all on January 22nd, 2026. It's the intention of the board not to continue any matter past 11 p.m. at any regular or special meeting of the board unless the motion is passed by the members then present to extend to a later specified cutoff time, and same shall be announced at the opening of each meeting. Any hearing conducted by the board is a quasi-judicial proceeding. Any questions or comments must be limited to issues that are relevant to what the board may legally consider in reaching a decision. Decorum appropriate to a judicial hearing must be maintained at all times. Roll call.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Sobiesky, would you like to make the announcement about our board member before I vote?
That's, for the record, we have board member joining us, Russell, Helio, seated all the way to the left of the dais. I did administer the oath of office before we started the meeting, so he's a duly sworn and qualified board member. Figured we'd save a couple minutes, by doing that instead of having to recite the speech on the record. So just want to confirm that he's officially a member of the board. Present.
It's class 4, long time.
I remember she asked me to go on board and I said yes. In the conversation, I said, how long is the appointment?
Right.
Seats if you want to move up to the big table. It's up to you.
Or you consider.
That's fun, thank you.
All right, so roll call.
Ms. Geller,
Present.
Mr. Gilio,
Here.
Mr. Graham,
Here.
Mr. Malia,
Here.
Mr. Morrison,
Here.
Mr. Sasso is absent. Mr. Trainer is absent, and Mr. Villappiano is also absent. You have a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. No meeting minutes, it's good. No communications, it's good. Is anyone here for something other than what's on the agenda? Get a second shot, no, okay. New business, we have the bills. Denise, you saw the email I sent you, right?
I did, get back to you. The bill you were talking about, or bills, is not,
It's okay,
yes, it's
Everything's
not
okay.
here.
everything's okay.
Yeah, everything on this list is.
Wanted to be sure.
Yeah.
Okay, take a motion for the bills.
Motion to approve bills totaling $11,556.25.
Second. Roll call.
Ms. Geller,
Yes.
Mr. Gilio.
I believe I have to abstain.
Thank you. Mr. Graham,
Yes.
Mr. Malia,
Yes.
Mr. Morrison,
Yes.
the motion carries.
No new business, no resolutions. So we're right up to the main event, the public hearing of Abbas Terrell.
If you're sure while they're getting up here, I'll just make a quick statement for the record as far as this goes. The applicants did provide adequate notice for this evening's hearing. Notice was sent to whose property, to agree to subject property. One exception I'll get to in a second, on May 8th, 2026. It was also published in the Bernardsville News on the 7th, 2026. Both on the 10 days in advance of tonight's hearing. So the board almost has full jurisdiction here in this case. I do want to just swear over the applicant real quick. It'll make sense in a second after swear. Mr. Trey, I'm assuming you swear or affirm that the testimony you have is the truth, the whole truth, and the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, sir. As I understand it, you are the owner of block 44, lot 22.
That's 17 Elmer Avenue.
That's correct.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. And on the 200-foot list that you got for the two subject properties that are subject to the hearing tonight. That lot did appear, but you didn't send notice to that address, correct? The 17 Elmer Ave.
Right, but I'm also the owner of that.
Excellent. Okay, so you're waiving your right to receive notice of this hearing?
I do.
Okay, excellent. Just wanted to make it totally clear on the record, to be safe. Thank you very much.
Thank
With that, Mr. Chairman, notice is good. The board can proceed here.
Okay,
Where would you like us, right here, or do you want us closer?
we sh-
There's a spot to stand.
Oh.
there's a spot to stand, we don't have a
Where's
podium.
this for the screen?
If you move it, it should pick you up. Oh, it'll pick me up locally. Oh, there you go, there you go.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's
All
all
right.
right.
Smart camera of some sort.
I know, AI. Hi, everyone. My name is Alicia Oaks. I will be serving as the, I guess, de facto attorney for applicant, who is also my father, who coincidentally is also my next door neighbor. So I'm here on lots of fronts, but I'm here primarily as his attorney today, just to present this application, which is seeking a lot line adjustment between block 44 lots 23.01 and 23.02. Which would, in summary, result in approximately 7,295 square feet being reallocated from lot 2 to lot 1. So, for the purposes of just keeping it simple, I'm going to try to refer to 23.02 as lot 2, 23.01 as lot 1. Lot 1 is the improved lot, so that contains the house, a waterfall structure, anything that's really built is in 23.01 lot 1. 23.02 is just basically woods, a stream, wetlands. Our best guess from looking at the way that the property lines were drawn, who knows how many years ago, is that they probably tried to make 2301 as small square footage wise as possible under the applicable zoning, probably for tax reasons. That would be my best guess. I wasn't privy to that, but I'm assuming. However, at this point, the applicant is seeking to push that improved lot line forward onto the unimproved lot to allow, the primary reason is to allow the existing front entrance deck to be replaced. So as it stands right now, the front entrance is from a second story deck. Your entry is on your second story, and the deck was on, I don't even want to say footings, supports that have completely rotted out. And in order to replace those and put proper footings and pull the permits to do so, you would not be in compliance of front setback, even though the dwelling itself is more than sufficiently set back from the road. But because 2301 is a separate lot, it doesn't currently meet those setback requirements. By pushing the lot line forward a little bit into 23.02, it would meet those setback requirements. I do want to emphasize that applicant is not looking to expand the footprint of the built property, the built home in any way. Basically, it's mostly about replacement of that deck, which we can't do without a variance unless we push that lot line forward a little bit. There was some confusion about lot line adjustment versus consolidation, because at one point in the application, we did mention consolidation, and I would just like to say that when we were first looking at this, we were thinking about consolidating the two lots into one, and just that would basically solve the problem just by doing that. But really our objective here is to preserve that front lot, lot 2, as some sort of open space conservation area for years to come, because right now in this neighborhood, that's almost all that we have left of open space, wooded, treed property, and we want to try to conserve that. So we didn't want to combine the lots and then potentially years and years and years down the line, make that something that's sort of developable. We wanted to keep it, the house is on its lot, which is within the constraints of the R3 zoning district. And the front is just an open space wooded lot that we'd like to keep that way. Am I missing anything? We're happy to take any questions about the plans, which I'll defer to him.
I'm just gonna ask a question. When you say you want to conserve that, are you taking active steps to have it?
So we thought about putting a deed restriction in so that it could not be built upon. But then when I looked at the letter from, where is that letter? Where is that report from Mr. Bolio? Mr. Bolio, it did mention that the building envelope on that second lot would be so that you couldn't basically put a structure up on there.
She did not say that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The question, what,
What would that building envelope be?
yeah. Are you taking something that you could build potentially something now and then? After subdivision is added, so that now you would, not have a building envelope, but you still have a residential standing.
Right, I think without being able to speak to the plans themselves, that the envelope on that lot would be reduced to an extent that it would not be buildable without a variance. But we're also open to just putting a deed restriction on it, because that is the objective in the long run, is to keep it as open.
Yeah, I think. If you're open to putting a deed restriction on, I think that may be the way to go. Just from, otherwise, put a board in a tough position if you come back for a variance.
Yes.
And you technically have a buildable lot, you might know, building envelope, it's. Does that put the board in a difficult position of denying the variance and then. Then you still have technically an existing lot that is not buildable. Where the board's saying you don't have a buildable lot, whereas.
It's a hardship that's created,
Yeah.
in other words.
Right, which does make sense.
Does this application seek any variances?
Yes.
But which are, that just itemize the variances that are being sought for this lot line?
So for the adjustment itself, we wouldn't be seeking any variances.
Okay, so it's,
The only variances that would ever come into play would be the existing layout of the house, the way it was from the beginning. Actually
if you wanted to do something,
misses the setback of the rear yard, but it's already there.
but the application itself
No, does not
As-
seek any
I
variances.
thought,
triggers any variances?
didn't your notes say something about that?
So there's a minimum, they've identified on their plans what the variances are for the existing and the proposed. And then dated 3/26. And it's asterisk next to the rear yard setback for existing, what is what she's referring to. And if the lot there's a variance required for both the rear yard and the side yard setback for proposed 2301-A.
So the side yard setback, which would be as proposed, is 35 3/4. The
That's the rear
requirement
yard.
is what?
I think it's.
The required rear yard is 50 feet and they're proposing 35, and the required minimum side yard is 15 feet and they have 4.
Okay, I
Which
see.
exists.
But that's right, that is existing.
So
And so the only one that's changing is that,
The rear setback is
Yeah.
changing.
And it's better,
and it's better,
Right,
but it's still.
but it's
very-
still,
See, by virtue of shifting the lot lines, you're essentially creating two new lots. So even though there are pre-existing non-conforming conditions as of now. You take the interpretation that by creating now creating two new lots, you're essentially creating a new lot that has two non-conforming conditions. Right, they're pre-existing, but so creating a lot essentially, and that's one interpretation I've seen other ones. Where a project like this wouldn't require any additional variance, it'd just be writing this pre-existing.
Right. They're all pre-existing nonconformities and basically without knocking down the existing structure, there's no way to make the structure conform as is with lot lines because you're on an adjacent property not owned by the applicant.
okay, now you have an easement to allow the wood deck,
That's right.
spa and heater, and just that is, I don't see that easement, I see it written, I don't see I don't see it on the map, then. You don't see where the,
let's see.
you know, like a,
Right.
where the square footage is.
It's where I saw pursuant to. I don't remember.
And then it says that then there's an arrow to it, there's a note.
Oh, here it is. So sort of. On your plans, it'll say deck spa and heater encroachment included in easement reported in.
Yeah, I know it's there, but it's not drawn on the map.
It
Another-
shows it over the property line.
So you think it's just, the easement is just literally the square footage of, can't be, of just the wood structure?
Yes, it's just that bit of encroachment. I do have the easement itself. I think it was uploaded. Okay, so the easement itself has been uploaded. It's recorded in the county as well. And it has. Easement is intended. The portion of grantor's lot which are currently being encroached on by said deck, spa, and spa heater. I've shown the January 16th survey. So it really is just that little chunk that hangs over by about 5 feet onto the adjacent property that has the easement. Which is on the opposite side of this lot line adjustment, I should specify.
No, I know, I'm just like wondering. If it was a larger easement, then in theory, you would have. Like if they had given you 10 feet along their property line,
Right,
you would have 10 more feet.
right. Well,
That's why I'm asking.
This was another one done long before we were in the picture.
I'm just,
That would have made things much easier, I agree.
so is the interpretation or professionals that the rear and side setbacks are the corner, the most constrained corner of the house? That corner is acting as both the side setback point and the rear setback points.
So
The corner of the house that's closest to the property line, is that acting as the boundary of the side, for the side and for the rear of the house?
it's just the signs. The new lot that they're proposing here, that's where the 35 feet looks, you look at the top, right?
I see that.
Yeah.
They're saying that's the rear setback?
So. I'm supposed to 52.75.
Because you interpret the wood deck that they want to replace, doesn't have a couple of names.
I don't agree, I'm just, so what? No, so there's the house, there's one corner of the house that is both the rear corner and the side corner. And the setbacks have to comply with both side and, I'm not judging on it, I'm just saying, that's the point where the setbacks are, the side and the rear setbacks. That one corner is where you measure the rear and the side setbacks from.
Does the ordinance define how you determine what a rear yard setback is?
Yes. It does define where the rear setback is.
While I'm looking at, I did have a question about the driveway distance within the adjacent lot. As another identified variance. I will, but I pointed that out in my table. Page 3. Because it looks in plans as though it's encroaching on the adjacent lot. And so it doesn't appear to comply with that.
There are actually a number of conditions, some of them are, variances compared to this week. Access corridor, is the slot shape requiring.
The lot shape they did, address the circle.
Are they provided any plans?
It's an updated plan.
It's not a shared drive with the driveway off Anderson Hill Road, right? That's what we're talking about when they're driving. As built, it's encroaching on the property,
Lot 2.
the other lot, right?
So
But
that's
it's
another.
also,
Is it shared?
No, it's not. So that driveway comes onto applicant's lot 23.02. And right now, there's not a recorded easement allowing that access, but it's
Okay.
just never been an issue because it's always been the same owner. It's never come before a board before. But that's another one that I'm happy to just prepare an easement from Mr. Terry to Mr. Terry, granting that easement so that lot 23.01 always has use of that driveway. But there is access as well, technically, through Elmer Avenue, because if you follow the driveway line, that does end on Elmer. But I'm also, just for sake of simplicity, it is the same owner. It's simple enough to do an easement just from 2302 to 2301 to recognize that driveway.
but I think the point she was making that it's, lot 9, block 43, that it appears the driveway encroaches. Am I correct?
Yeah,
Allison, yeah. If you look at that, it looks like you have a pre-existing encroachment. Because if the lot line is straight,
That is accurate, right? What you're saying is that the rightmost property on this map is lot 9, block 43. Correct? Is that accurate?
I'm sorry.
What you just said?
the text map shows that, 2.5 story frame dwelling in just south corner. As block 43 lot. And it appears to me that the driveway associated with the one business encroaches on that lot.
So the question mark that we had at closing was the surveyor found a 9-foot right of way recorded in the deed book that stretches down, that covers that portion of the driveway,
Okay,
that they could never sort of determine who it belongs to. It doesn't seem to belong to lot 43. They can't necessarily tie it to ours. It's one of those things that have been there forever. And he kind of said to me in jest, these small towns, these things have sort of been here forever. Nobody's questioned it. And then when we go to question it, figure out who owns what. I don't know who owns this 9-foot strip here. And he did mark that on these plans. So that is a bit of a question mark. Now, it is doable to abandon that portion of the driveway and keep it just within the constraints of 23.02. You have enough room. You have more than enough room. It's just it's always been there, so it just remained
Well, it
there.
hasn't always been there. It's an asphalt driveway, so. But regardless, the problem is it is asphalt, right? It's not stone.
That's correct. It's asphalt.
Wasn't it also going to block 8, block 43? I think we're talking about block 9, block 43. But
that's what
also-
we were just talking about.
So, but it's two different.
Well, it's going into the Elmer Avenue lot, okay, basically, but you're saying it goes into another one? So this is the lot that's the problem.
Oh,
That's what we're
I
talking
think this is a
about.
separate lot?
No,
That's lot 9, block 43.
no, this is what's on it. That's this house, this.
Okay, got it.
This is the 2
So. So,
I think it is 2 lots. How is it not 2? Isn't
This
this
is another lot?
but lot 9, block 43, and then this is
Oh,
lot 8, lot 8, block.
So it is another one.
Yeah, 2, 1, 2,
Entrance and held and one's on.
right.
So where does it split?
There's a wood fence.
Near the wood, along the wood fence?
I don't see the lot line, I only see the wood fence that I'm assuming splits the lots.
Do we have the tax map there? Do you have it? Can you answer the question about lot 8 and 9?
I'm definitely, so.
I think, do you think that's a typo? Do you think that that's a typo for the,
So the encroachment was.
should it should, because it shouldn't, it's lot 8. It's not, it doesn't look like it would be a big enough lot.
It's just, it's just got odd shape.
This is lot.
Oh, you're missing the whole, it goes down the whole, it's a whole bigger lot.
Yeah, it looks like it's a whole, it's like.
If this is accurate, if it's lot 8 and lot 9, so there is a lot 8 and a lot 9.
Yeah.
Both of which this driveway infringes on.
According to-
And somewhere there's a right of way document, somewhere in deeds that just says, you said it's just
9 foot right of way.
granted, just a definition.
This I don't know. This I have not seen. It wasn't in the title search. I can't,
Oh, how did it come up then if it wasn't?
It's a 9-foot wide road?
9 foot wide right of way at the very bottom. It's a strip of no man's land in between lot,
Oh, that,
I'm sorry, lot 8.
that.
Yeah.
The one drive.
No. Well, the driveway would be on,
There's 2 separate things. We have an easement, we have a right one.
there's one right of way.
So that gray strip that it drives,
The 20-foot strip,
yeah,
what is it?
is that recorded in an easement or?
The storm sewer easement given to the borough so that they could put a storm sewer in back in, I want to say 2012, and it runs underneath. But they have the easement to access and clean out and do repairs as needed. So that's what that 20-foot easement is. I want to say.
Grade stuff?
Correct.
20 feet.
Correct.
Your property line. Okay, so your existing property line, and it's appears that the driveway encroaches on 43 lot 9 and 43 lot 8. And the right of way and Elmer Avenue would be mentioned.
None of this came up when you closed?
But
So-
it did.
It did. The right of way. The
That's the
driveway,
9 foot right away, never mind, okay.
right. The encroachment basically limits on lot 8 in that right of way, that 9-foot space. The majority of the half of the driveway, as it is laid today, lies within 23.02.
If I can make this somewhat. I believe this was representation to council, but the applicant want to abandon a driveway. That isn't on 23.01, is it correct?
That's fine. Well, not on 23.02. 23.02 is the undeveloped lot
Right.
that the driveway runs through to hit Anderson
So
Road.
you want to keep it on 23.02,
We want to keep it on 23.02.
remove
We-
it from 8 and 9.
Exactly.
Okay,
That's fine. That can be abandoned.
that's fine.
So the enlarged lot, basically, what you're suggesting is the lot with the house on it. would have its driveway as it currently reaches Elmer Avenue, and the driveway would exit onto the Elmer Avenue right away.
Well, I propose to keep the driveway as it is and just cut the curve a little bit sharper so that you stay within the bounds of lot 23.02.
Is it wide enough?
It absolutely can be wide enough. Absolutely.
So you'd have to widen it.
I don't know that you have to widen it. I think as it exists now, it's wide enough that you could just let the right side that seems to be encroaching into that right of way, let that go, and you would still have more than enough space as it is without putting any driveway down to access the lot on top. Because otherwise 2301 is landlocked without access in theory.
Yeah, it just.
Are there any requirements for how wide the driveway has to be?
Yeah, the borough does have,
The minimum, well, let's see.
For a single dwelling, it's gonna be very liberal in terms of the driveway width. For a private or shared drive, for a shared drive, there will be a code.
Just your wetlands right there, so you're gonna have a hard time.
Right, we don't want to extend.
Do you want me to read the definitions while I have those and then I can look up the driveway?
Yeah, sure, do whatever you think is most efficient.
So, the definition of a rear yard shall mean a space unoccupied except by an accessory use or building as hereinafter specifically permitted, extending across the full width of the lot between the rear lot line and the nearest line of any building other than an accessory building, and including porches, but excluding steps, bay windows, featured.
Definition of your lot line.
No, it only has a setback.
So at the one corner at the top of that one corner is basically what determines your rear setback. And it's the side also. It's both.
But the setback definition. Setback line definition shall mean a line parallel to the property line established by applying the minimum yard restriction set forth in this chapter. And when you've got an irregularly shaped lot like that, and it fronts on Elmer,
But I'm sorry, not to interrupt you, it doesn't front on Elmer. It fronts on Anderson Hill. Your front door is above on the plans where it says clean out, that's the front door.
well, I understand where your front door is, but you don't have any lot frontage on Anderson Hill for that lot.
But that is the lot frontage. This would be, the Elmer Avenue is the side yard frontage. And where the deck is, that is your rear yard. So if you were to draw a parallel line, you would be going from,
I'm looking at the lot lines on NJDOT right now, and there's no portion of that lot frontage in.
because it's landlocked by 23.02.
I'm saying, in New Jersey, you have to have frontage on a road. And your frontage is on Elmer, it's not on Anderson Hill for that specific lot.
How does that work if you, a flag lot? I mean, flag lots generally don't have,
Why will have access from a road?
Yes.
from,
but their access is from Anderson Hill.
Right, with an easement.
The boundaries of the lot. Yeah.
You would have to define, I think you're all right, today it is Elmer, to have it be Anderson, you would have to have the property would have to have a flag that went down to Anderson. You'd have to define that as part of the lot line adjustment, which is not what's on the table.
No.
So I think you're correct that the frontage is Elmer. And that's what I was presuming. I was presuming the front face of the house was Elmer, where the driveway is essentially. The two side yards one's got the deck with and the other one is the thing to be repaired or removed, whatever. And then the rear is everything, up and to the left of that house.
Hey. Needs to have rear.
It does have a door.
Probably.
No, the rear yard. Drive in the driveway.
Yeah.
Presume there's a door there.
Yeah.
Walk in that door, that's the front of your house. To the right is the side of the house, to the left is the side of the house. If you walk through the house, you get to the back yard. That's the backyard.
Is it measured from these? Do you measure that from the existing dwelling, but dwelling not below?
Does it what?
It's currently non-conforming.
Building to that. So.
Yeah, it's not.
Either way, they need a rear yard variance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly the
Rear
side.
and side, it's
Yeah.
just, it's just that it's unfortunately, it's. That one corner determines the current rear setback and the current side setback, both of which. They need variance for.
Correct.
Okay,
So the way that it's drawn now, just correct me if I'm wrong. The side facing Elmer Avenue is the frontage.
correct.
So then this driveway has to have access from Elmer Avenue. Which it doesn't currently. It could. But as it is right
Well,
now,
that's where your frontage is, but you've got at least, well, apparently. The way you own them. It's not an easement, so technically you have no access
we have no access.
to Anderson Hill, correct?
But we
Unless-
have no access to
What's stopping you from having access to home?
the town, when it paved the roads, has the road ending. It's Belgian blocked. So there's not access unless you drive over the Belgian block and gravel to the lot. The driveway, the frontage has always been Anderson Hill Road, It just wasn't memorialized by easement. Or by deeding.
So is that a compliance, basically, yeah, you needed either a flag or you needed an easement that would allow the driveway to exist. Over the lot closest to Anderson Hill.
So they can do that because they own.
They could do a lot of things, yeah, because they own the property.
Do you know if you're permitted to have a driveway in drainage easement?
Oh, yes, the drainage easement came after the driveway, it's already there, it's underneath. There's a manhole cover on top for access. And the idea that you can never build a structure on top of it, so that the town can continuously access it, clean it and inspect it. That's just a drainage easement.
So it's not,
No, for sure, I'm positive with that.
So that would then mean that both of those lots would share that driveway. Because Elmer Ave is closed up, that could have hypothetically been the driveway for the upper lot. And
Correct.
Anderson Hill could have been the driveway for the lower lot. If we're making a flagpole, then it's a shared driveway.
I think that's what you have to, I think that's what you have to do. You have to make a flag here
Down 23.
down to Anderson with whatever the right dimensions are. There's a minimum, right, for flag width, I'm sure. It's okay, she can just show her skills. Instead of. That there is a minimum width for the flag, because you need a minimum frontage on the road. To be a legal frontage, yes, it's a width, okay,
I mean, we have
and
more than enough to work with down there.
and the reality of flags is it just has to be there, it doesn't have to be used, you know, like, but I mean, if you.
Have you ever had this before where they technically have frontage on Elmer, just that they don't have access, but the town just blocked it up with the Belgian block.
Well, they technically don't have access to Anderson Hill, technically. They have a driveway that's not compliant, you know, that's like.
But they
I
don't
look
have
at-
frontage on, so they don't technically need to turn this into a flag. What they need is an easement. So,
I think I know what you're saying, and I think it's accurate that they have frontage on a right of way for a street.
Right.
But the reality is they need access, they don't have it on,
It's not,
and so in order to have access, they have to have an agreement. It either has to be a shared public, you know, shared private drive, defined, because you can do that too. You can take the front property and you can say, okay, it's a shared drive between the two. And recommend that, or you can flag it. So that it belongs to, because you're doing a, you know, a lot line adjustment, you can flag it so that it belongs to that and it's not a shared drive.
Right.
Now, I don't, you have frontage, so you don't actually, and you haven't developed the front lot, you know, so it doesn't actually even need a driveway, I don't think.
No,
It's just, so you have a choice, you can. If you were planning to develop it, which you're not, but if you were, you would say, well, I'll put in a shared private drive. So then I would have easy access to do that. Other than that, whoever developed it would have to have a cut somewhere, you know, in the front of that property to put a house there. So I think technically you're not in violation of having frontage, because just is what Allison said. But if you want to use that legally, you're gonna need an easement. You don't have, you have a choice. You could flag it and use it. You could use an easement and use it. You could make it a shared private drive.
which at this point sort of doesn't make sense, only because the driveway has been existing and in use 77 Anderson Hill for at least since 1999, since we've been around.
Young,
So we'd like to keep,
yeah.
we'd like to keep that. We don't want to change it. We don't want to dig anything up, change anything, add anything. I do think doing this by easement would make the most sense, just because property owner to property owner, and just formalize the easement, allowing access down to Anderson Hill,
Right.
giving it the frontage that's necessary.
Right.
It's
Like I
just-
said, it's your call, so, I think all of them, any of those three
Sure,
would hold up, because as Allison said, you have the frontage, you're not required to have the flag. And an easement can be anything, you know.
In.
There is for a lot, if it were a flag. I'm not saying it is, because you have frontage, there's a minimum frontage in the regulations. And if your flag is serving as your frontage, which you're not, because you have Elmer, you have a minimum width on the road. So I'm hoping the Elmer Avenue right away is wide enough to be frontage. So we have to look at,
It is, it's 50 feet.
It's 50.
and 50.
I'm pretty sure the flag limit, I'm pretty sure the frontage is 25 feet. So there's a minimum that has to be on your frontage on a road. So it's not called flag, it's under what's the minimum front yard.
Less than 50 feet and 50.
I don't think a flag. It's not gonna matter because you're not gonna do this, right? You're just gonna look for an easement, right? Basically, you think you're not gonna actually create a flag.
well, now you've got alarm bells going off in my head, because then our setbacks get all wonky. And to replace the deck, is that now my side yard? And am I gonna hit side yard setback?
You're gonna need a variance for side yard no matter what, so we can identify which side you're not close enough, but you'll need a variance for side yard no matter what.
Like that?
Right.
No. I don't see how that would change.
Oh,
I think it's still the same as the one, just.
Well, what was the,
Well, that's already.
So the front deck with the lot line adjustment, if Anderson Hill is your front, which was always what we were operating under. You would hit your front yard setback without an issue. If this becomes your side yard setback,
House.
that is the front of the house. That's where your front door is, your front steps. So the lot is set facing, you're sitting, walk out your front door, you're on Anderson Hill Road, and the driveway goes to Anderson Hill Road. It's tricky, it's very tricky because of the way the lot lines are and looking at the way the house is actually planted there 60-something years ago. You know, I really wish I could just straighten it
Yeah,
out.
it doesn't really matter what the features are on the building in terms of determining whether it's front, side or rear. And corner lots are interesting too.
Yeah, this is a funky
You
one.
know, you could drive in and say, oh, I walk around to the other side of the house and that's my front door, that's my front lawn. Well, no, it's not.
See, I've always interpreted whatever your frontage is a problem. I mean, so like, with that, like, I would, at least in my opinion, I would consider the southeasterly face of the house to be the front, so that's what's facing home. I could be wrong, but that's always how I understood it. There's no property line shared intersection.
So the
That's very
question
awkward.
was really how much variance do they need? Because they're.
Yes, they're not gonna get out of, they're gonna need variances no matter what. It's a question of making sure they have whatever variance they need. And granting whatever variance they need to do what they need, what they wanna do. That's, you know,
So,
there's no configuration where you're not gonna need a variance.
and it's already non-conforming, so is our question now, can we discuss this and vote on this? With an understanding that the calculation of exactly how much of a variance they're going to need can be done later? Or do we have to know that now so that when we vote on it, or can it be in the resolution?
I think we can discuss it and say, look, that top corner, basically, in my opinion, that's your rear and your side setback constraint. And we should discuss that. And the point is, it's existing, all as you're saying, they're not changing it. Whatever existed on the other corner, the left corner, they're making better, you know, they're improving it. So if a variance is required for that, they're making it better. And we can discuss that. So they're kind of two pieces of compliance.
Yeah.
And then there's a question of what actually, your point, like what actually has to be a variance, you know, like, oh, well, they really were okay compliant with variant, you know, the third variance. So I think that we can cover that. Was that? You said the variances is. It's just the side and rear.
So there's a whole list flagging the professionals reports. You probably run through that, or let's put it in side yards.
Yeah.
So starting with 23.01, there was one fight for access. I think that's okay because you have 53 feet of frontage.
Right.
So we can cross that. Driveway distance from adjacent lot. I guess in either circumstance here, the plan is to maintain that. Provide some kind of formalized driveway easement across 2302 to 23.01. So I think that's sort of variance to 0 feet.
Right.
Right? So, a lot of shape, you guys demonstrated the big circle more, so we can cross that. Combined floor area on 23.01. You're permitted to be 807.4 square feet at a maximum. Was that all quantified? You don't know?
Which number is that? I'm sorry. On the letter.
Which letter are you putting?
So we both bring it up in different memos, but it's referring to the calculations that you have for your max floor area.
Existing max floor area. 8,000 square feet.
So is that, they need a lead for that, or is that compliant? It looked like they need to provide some kind of application for us to determine.
I think
You know what the floor area of the house is, 1.01? 1.0, yeah, 1.0.
The floor area of the house. It should be.
So,
Existing conditions. Existing impervious coverage of the house is 2119.
Right,
We'll come back to impervious coverages. We need a
Hold on one second.
order.
What's the approach of the house?
yes.
Okay, so you got 46.
Here's to be correct, is the impervious, right, I think that.
We don't need one before here, no variance.
Okay, so we can check that out.
Okay, process. Okay, principal front yard setback line. It's gotta be equal to the length of the longest side of the dwelling facing the front lot. Give you clarity.
But the setback is no longer, what they're requesting is, their setback request is actually from the side we just determined, not from the front.
That's right.
Well, did they comply with, what's the front setback required?
So front yard setback, this is from the analysis. At a minimum, the front yard setback line itself needs to be as long as the length of the longest side of the dwelling facing the front lot line.
Okay, they comply.
Still, you know,
They comply.
So then we comply,
Yeah,
That's for the front, which is your side.
which is my side, right?
Alright, so we're gonna take that as the front line, okay, there. Impervious coverage ratio posed by driveway parking area shall not exceed 17% of your impervious coverage share. And we could plot that.
I believe so. Because it reduces once 2301 gets increased. Yes,
Okay, we're good there?
yep,
Okay. And then lot frontage. When we established 53 on Elmer.
On Elm.
There, we don't need that, okay. So that's it for 2301.
what is the gravel area that's there surrounded by trees? What is that? It's on, already there, the gravel area.
eventually that's where he wants to put a shed up. Like a garden shed.
Okay, so that you included that in your impervious?
Yes, it's included. We made sure of that.
So the question is, do they need a variance on the side setback here?
No, wait, did we determine impervious was fine?
That was council's representation.
Yes, that was definitely included.
And it was okay? There's no,
That's right.
okay, so then,
So that's 23. Those variances, so we have 3 so far, that's for the two setbacks, we already talked about already, and then the driveway distance from the adjacent lot, be 0 feet, 23.2. You guys are gonna reconfigure that driveway anyway, so you just make sure you stay away from.
They're not gonna reconfigure, they're gonna do an easement.
On to 2302.
and they're not,
You're gonna, but you said you were gonna take it all from 8, 9, right?
We can just abandon it. We can just abandon it.
Yeah, you're gonna remove it, you're gonna, so,
Let's not use it.
so,
And use what's on 23.02 with the easement.
but it's gonna be a very narrow strip of drive.
yeah, that's not gonna. Well, how wide is it now?
You know the width of
It
it right now?
looks like it can't,
They're laying close side
now,
so couldn't.
22?
You know what that right away gives you access? You know, anything like that?
So the right of way is to the side of the curb cut. So as it is right now, there's no access to it, except if you look at the plans, do you see how it bellies out? And it bellies into the right of way? So at the bottom, we're fully within the lot constraints of 23.02. But as it goes up, it bellies to the right into the right of way. If we didn't belly, and we sort of followed the line of the storm sewer easement, you'd be within the lot lines.
So the physical drive. Under your ultimate proposal, it's not gonna change, it's gonna remain exactly where it is.
Yes, exactly.
So with that. It's, I guess, one variance, but for multiple different angles. 0 feet, I'm just talking about 23.0. There's
Right.
0 feet from 23.0 to.
That's right.
It's on that line, Then you're 0 feet, well, negative feet to Elmer
To Elmer.
plus.
So what you're saying is the driveway is currently over the sewer easement.
Yes,
The belly's into the sewer easement, and the sewer easement is on not your property, it's on the other two lots.
no, the sewer easement's on our property.
It's a dark gray area.
Oh, the dark gray is the sewer easement.
The sewer easement came in about 2012.
Right, so I think the point is, your driveway currently is on lot 8 and lot 9. And what are you doing about that? That's all. And you're saying, well, we would just like abandon that. We would not use the part of the driveway that's on lot 8 and lot 9. Is that, that's what I heard you say?
We can absolutely do that, otherwise we are taking away access from lot 8 and lot 9, technically, that's been there forever.
8 and 9 use this driveway also?
No, not with a car, but I mean, technically it's on their property.
Well, but they have access off of Anderson Hill.
Correct.
We're not taking it.
No, we would not be taking, I'm sorry, I misspoke, we would not be taking access from them in any way, shape or form, but we'd be going onto their property and removing something.
That's right, yeah, I said you were removed.
If we were to remove that portion of the driveway, I don't want to remove that portion of the driveway, I'd rather just leave it there and abandon it and use what's fully within 23.02.
But that's the thing, if you live in 2302.
Would there be enough space now? that
Yeah,
they're
about
right?
this, yeah.
So,
Yes.
The full width is 12 feet, but that includes the area in this 9-foot wide road.
Yeah, so, yeah,
So,
But it almost seemed from looking at this was this 9-foot wide right of way anticipated. After driveway would be have access to the lot. You just don't have any documentation substantially. But it's kind of seems like common sense, that's what it was intended for.
Right.
I think we interrupted you when you were explaining the right of way clause. We were trying to explain it.
I wish I knew the origin of the right of way, to be honest with you, because if you look at the very bottom, there's this 9-foot section and it comes into play to the right of the curb cut. So it's actually off of the driveway where the right of way starts, and then it runs up along the property line to the point where the driveway bellies off onto this right of way. And then the driveway bellies right back into 23.01.
so what I meant to add, what I meant to say, because I originally got that this all came up when you closed, but nobody dealt with this. Nobody went to the town. Who would determine?
It's surprising how, and it's not title search, and it's surprising how everyone steps back.
and we don't know who the right of way was granted to.
Now, that's the issue. They don't know who the right of way was granted to, so it hasn't sort of followed with the deed history for anyone. So now we're calling it no man's land because it hasn't followed anybody's deed histories. Lot 8 down here has sold subsequently. It's not in their deed. It's not part of their survey. Above has sold.
Well, that I understand, but are you saying it's not even, it's recorded somewhere, right? The right of way? It's in the county deeds?
I believe so, according to this.
So someone had to register it.
Deed book 1652, it just never ran with a property as it
No,
was
no,
conveyed,
that I understand.
right?
Okay,
So I
doesn't
don't
run
know,
with the property, but someone recorded it.
right,
If someone was a person, that did it, and then they're either,
And it doesn't have a date on it?
no, of course, it's got a date.
not
It's
on
in the
this,
deed book, it's got a date.
right, it's just not on this.
It's just not one?
It's not on these plans for me to refer to.
Oh, okay, no,
Did you happen to search though, Somerset County?
Not for this. Not for this.
I'm trying.
I don't, you're gonna do a lot line separation here, you're gonna record new deeds. And you've gotta have, about the right of way, you need to associate it with the new deeds that you're gonna file. So, you need to learn a lot more about it. I think you're right that what you're saying is you just would like to abandon the belly out that's in the other property rather than going in and doing demolition
Right.
of it. It's technically theirs. I think what you said it recently, they knew it was there when they bought the property, so it's not like, oh, well, you didn't know that the driveway was there.
Right,
What's the book and page for that?
deed book 1652,
1652.
page 806.
806. Sixteen 806.
Yep,
So the first party, presuming the grantor was ZRNO Barbara A. Is that we have made it this one? And the second party was Fred M. Crescent.
Yeah, that's Gladys.
Well, when was this? Does it
It was
show
reported in on September 25th of 1987.
87?
1987.
It may. It's indeed.
From what you're seeing, it is relevant to this property, correct?
But that sounds like it's part of that 2302.
So it is sort of 2302 because the lot line is here. This is 2302 here. When was the lot subdivided?
When was the lot subdivided? I did know this at some point. I would say early 1970s, maybe late 1960s. 2301, 2302.
So it would have been part of the original lot 23.
That's
Before
right.
it became 2301 and 2302.
But they didn't record the easement until 87.
The subdivision occurred after.
She
Right.
said the subdivision.
No, the subdivision definitely occurred before.
70s.
Oh, it occurred. I was wrong. And then, yeah, they should have recorded it
So
again.
you did this. Was Zerno or Frederick, whatever the name was,
Preston,
I'm sorry?
Pressman would have been, I don't know if they did the subdivision or if it was the owners before the Pressmans.
Well, I would suspect if they're doing the easement years later, that they weren't the ones who did the subdivision.
Right,
Right away.
I do agree. 1980s.
You're gonna need the easement. There were like three choices, remember, that the one seems easiest is the easement. You've got the right of way as precedent for some kind of an easement, but and you're gonna have to write it all into the deeds.
Right.
When you do this adjusted subdivision, so. It sounds like you should do. Not lawyer, but to do a new easement and have it supersede the right of way. Basically, draw it in and say this
Yes.
supersedes it.
Book and page one more.
Yeah. 9-foot right of way, as for deed book 1652, page 806.
Should view it, log in, could set right. Oh, let me see. So John Zerno and Fred, or John Zerno and Barbara.
That's good.
But nobody's questioning the use of this driveway. It's always this.
He's taking care.
Often easements aren't filed properly.
Right,
They're filed and then you can't look them up, they don't show up in the record,
Right.
so, it's the way those records work.
Sure.
They're like ancillary documents and they don't always get correlated. Yeah, but they'll step away. The title insurance will say, if it's not showing up in the search for the county records, we're not liable
it's an exemption.
for whatever's found. Yeah. And so therefore you're not insured.
Yep.
It just happened to my brother, that's why I know.
That's an exemption.
It's like,
Because
it's like, oh no, didn't insure you for that. Stuff we can't, if they can't learn it, then they just say, look, there's no way for us to learn this.
Right. and you take title subject to that exemption.
Yeah,
Well, they can get their own,
Right.
that's the work to do the other ones. It's.
so the good news is you're in control of the properties, you can get your own easements, you can set it all right, you gotta do the deeds anyway, so it's not like it's a lot of
Sure.
added effort to get the easement into the deed. Did we get to through the list of?
Well,
Through the list of potential variances?
Are you guys, would you be stipulating to getting easements from 8, 9? Or allow that driveway to continue?
Would you be open to getting easements from the two family
do they need?
and
It's not on their, it's not within their lot lines. That's my understanding.
No. He's saying to continue to use the driveway as is without constructing a wider driveway and abandoning the non-conforming section of this driveway. Would instead, they be willing to seek an easement from lot 8 and lot 9 that says, can I continue to use my driveway?
But they're saying it's a no man's land that nobody owns this
No.
on B. Isn't that true?
most of it, there's a tiny section that seems to be on lot 9. No, lot,
No, they don't know the right of way. They can't associate the right of way path with the right of way.
But the easement was granted to this gentleman, Brad Preston. Yeah.
and that's our,
Yeah.
Seller.
Keep open board.
correct.
Okay. So it may very well be that it's not drawn on the planning way or when it was reported, it wasn't like the municipal description.
That's what I'm wondering,
Yeah,
if it's just,
I have pulled up one.
So are you saying that the easement itself was granted by lot 8 and lot 9 to the owners of lot 2302?
I'm trying to do the text on the system.
There would need to be 2 easements.
You need a laptop.
I know,
These are. In the premises. Yeah, 23.2, but this is back with the different.
You're gonna need an easement at least on 2302 to allow 2301 to use the space on 2302 to access. You're gonna need to further research the right of way to make complete sense out of it as opposed to ad hoc. It's gotta be accurate.
sure,
And the suggestion that was made is instead of messing with the driveway, the right of way may cover it, but try to get an easement from lot 8 and 9 to let you use the driveway as opposed to paving.
How many years? 87, whatever.
that I can testify that it's been there since before 1999, because I moved in next door in 1999, and that driveway has always been there.
What's the time limit on adverse possession in future?
We're there, we're past it, we're past it. It's definitely open and notoriously used for
Yeah.
over 25 years.
So
There's no argument.
it may very well be yours already.
By right.
Consent, Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I think,
I'm renaming myself to,
no,
very wrong.
no, you are absolutely right. I wouldn't wanna throw it out there, but that is true. It's been,
Weird.
it's been completely, in fact, when we were first getting surveys done, because of course, I live here, this is my across the street neighbor for 20 years. He said, is this on your property line to our across the street neighbor? And he was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. No, like that's the driveway. That's not ours. We've never. And I was like, all right, well, we don't know what this is, who
And
this
you
belongs to.
pulled, obviously you pulled the deed for lot 9, right?
Right, lot 9 just sold, no, not lot 9,
There's-
sorry, lot 8 just sold recently.
And lot 8 showed, and they didn't have a problem with it. It
No,
didn't.
they didn't.
No,
Yeah, so it's not showing up.
To say lot 8, but both of them are,
lot 9 hasn't sold since, I would estimate, when did they move in? 2003, 2002?
no, that's still recent, that's still recent.
That makes me feel good, keep saying that, that is recent.
It's recent to all of us.
It's recent.
The point is, I think it's straightforward. If you want to keep using the library, the driveway, you're gonna want to ensure that you have the rights to do it. I think you have the right, if someone were to enforce it and say, no, you can't, you're on my property. You get into the issues of, I think, how long it's been in use, but so you do have the way to remediate it. It's not like there's a cliff there that
No,
you couldn't pave to get around it.
no, we just don't want,
No,
if I have
understand.
to, we can do it, but we don't want to expand any more impervious. That is there. We like,
Well, it's not on your lot. Oh, you just measured the impervious on your lot. You didn't measure the impervious on their
On the-
lot.
no. Into our lot if we don't have to. If we have to, we have to. We're just trying to keep as much green as we can.
At the end of the day, this is something. I mean, it's certainly relevant to what we're talking about, but whether or not the drive was an improper or not, we can do better. It's kind of like outside of the planning board, we're here to determine if you.
Right.
If you're a group subdivision and variances,
Correct.
so. I guess with that, hit it. But there's more to settle. Kind of proceeding at your own risk is. 8 or 9 or one.
Understood.
But, as far as we're concerned. With those with the driveway. We need relief for the, essentially 0 foot setback of the driveway to those other 2 ones.
The 23.2 at the very least, yes.
Correct.
Okay.
For lot 8 and lot 9, you don't have the driveway setback.
That's right.
Were those the last 2 variants?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me
Yeah.
finish up. To go all the way back where we started. Okay, so we went through 23.1, we do the variance to 23 is. Access corridor, need at least 50 feet. We got a ton of frontage, so I don't know why that was even flagged, so I guess no variance for that. The distance of the driveway to 23.01. Because the driveway's gonna continue to be so far already, then also the 89, I guess 0 feet in all
Right.
Measurements there, and then the lot shape, which you demonstrated you comply with. So I'm pretty sure that's it.
No, we still have, how much of a variance do we need on the side yard and the backyard?
Not for a one.
I was talking about, okay,
No, for 01,
well,
it's just a matter that a variance is needed. We need to know
Correct.
whether it's a 4 foot or a 15 foot or a 30 foot. It's.
We need to know the specifics,
Right.
just to memorialize it properly.
well, you consider the 4 foot dimension, you consider that property line, that the house is 4 feet too, as the side yard. We're required 15, they got
Right.
And the numbers they originally had for what they called the front lot would be our numbers for the variance on the side.
That would be our side. Now, if we're considering it like this.
Because the application considers what they see as the front of the house is actually based on this.
If that's where the board determination is, that the front yard is, that's.
No, what I'm saying is their application is requesting a variance on what they call the front yard, but in fact now it's the side yard. That was a whole.
No, that's right. That's right. That makes sense to me.
Yes.
So we
that-
just need to amend what the request is, because when they submitted their application.
Yeah.
Where their front door is what they they identified as this front yard. But we've all agreed that their front yard is where the driveway comes in facing Elmer.
They didn't ask for a front yard, really.
Because we were considering front yard Anderson Hill Road. We're determining tonight that front yard is actually the Elmer Avenue facing side.
Correct.
So now they want side yard.
So now that
We need to make sure there's no side yard relief.
I don't think we need side yard
Okay.
relief because the side yard's only 15 and we're
There,
well beyond that now.
yes.
Okay,
Everybody's cycles.
well,
No, one side yard they
Yeah.
don't need. They need a side yard and a backyard, but the other side yard, they don't need a variance for.
That's correct.
I just wanted to make sure that we,
Yes.
because
two-
we switched the
two-
names.
Variances.
The back is the issue.
Yeah.
The front
The
is,
front and back, the side and rear, okay. But so that's resolved.
It's 4 feet to the northernmost property line, considering the side yard boundary, 1 and 2 side yard. And 35.77 is what it's gonna be the new rear yard boundary. Under the terms of the
No,
lot line.
no.
That's not fair to, it's.
You want it per,
What?
Before for rear and side.
Exactly.
okay, so the 4 foot, you're, Mr. Chairman.
That corner is on the side and the rear wall.
You're saying that's the rear and side.
It is correct.
Okay, all right, that's rear and.
Because we're drawing a parallel line from that
Now-
corner, right? Yes,
Yeah, it's from that corner. That's the closest.
I see that.
When you look at our new rear of the house, that corner is the closest to the property line.
Yep, I see
So
that.
therefore, that is the
That's 4 feet.
setback.
Okay. So then the 35.77, the other property. That property line is what, is that a side yard boundary?
That's a side.
Side.
So then they're compliant
They are. That was her point.
on that.
Right.
Okay,
She's
so
compliant with
so
that
there's 1 4 foot dimension,
per side,
2 different yards.
Yes.
two different sides, yeah.
Okay,
Don't you wish we could just,
this is a,
And it's an existing condition. That's the.
yes,
point.
it's all
That's
existing,
perfect.
nothing's getting pushed in that way place at all.
they're proposing to shift an invisible line.
Now, what was what's the side yard? Just one, the side yard is currently, no, not forget that. What's
The
the
minimum?
15?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so they were at 14, they were at 15 feet nominally before, but now they're making it even, they're making it better. They're relieving that
Right.
constraint.
More so.
And that new deck they're gonna do, is that's a replacement deck or it's gonna be, it's gonna be same boundaries?
Replacement,
I'm sorry,
replacement.
same boundaries, making sure you have.
6 foot,
I mean,
Can you
for
explain
impervious,
6 foot now, then
That
I
is-
see 12 foot.
So it comes 6 feet off the front of the house now,
Right,
and then you're gonna make it 12 feet off the front of the house. Okay,
it's not front, it's
Side.
so, all right,
Let's
so
just make sure.
minus,
well, today it's 469 square feet, so it sounds like it's.
so,
Deck.
so it'd be 29.77 from that boundary. Is that correct?
yes.
735,
20. We have 37,
Right?
35.
I see, and another 6 feet.
Still compliant.
So you would still be compliant.
Oh,
I know, that's important. Cause right now you can't get in the house. But for the back door or side door. This is gonna be a running joke.
You'll never look at the house again.
I will never look at it the same again. That is absolutely right.
okay. So. Joe, do my best to summarize the relief and we'll keep going, the public and whatever other questions,
Sure.
just so we're all on the same page here. Minor site plan approval for the lot line adjustment. The side and rear yard setback, pre-existing condition that's gonna be technically need a variance again, 4 feet or 15 is required. If it's side, 15 required. I don't know, it's a rear that he needs, oh yeah, 50 required, okay. Driveway distance on 23.01, 0 feet to Elmer, 0 feet to 23.02.
That's right.
That road slot 23.02. 0, the driveway setback is 0.
Oh, wait, let's go back. It's 0 feet to Elmer, it's 0 feet to lot 9 and 0 feet to lot 8. You've got both lots, right?
That was just 23.01.
Oh, 20, right, never mind. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so 23.01, 0 feet to Elmer, 0 feet to 23.
2302, yes.
Sure, it's not 0 feet to any other.
And we're not too close to
Actually,
the lot north of Elmer Avenue. That's fine, right? How close can it be?
No, that's past it.
is it within 10 feet?
Is it within 10 feet of the corner of that lot? See where Elmer Avenue and the
10 feet.
property one?
Is it within 10 feet, the driveway?
Lot ones. Point two. It looks like it's within 10 feet.
Where the drive? Because of my owner, where the lot, where the driveway goes, is that within 10 feet of my lot?
Yeah, it's not 5 feet.
So yes. So that would need a variance from 2301 to
Yeah.
lot 22.
And
it would be in the same category of,
Okay,
you're not at 0, but you're not at 10. In other words. It's just because it gets that close, it's very much, is that your one?
yeah,
Okay,
can I,
it gets to the,
It's for your parents.
It's just a problem, from some guys in the middle of these, it looks like it's listed, it's not listed 10 feet, a lot 9, 23, or the driveway, it's on 23 or 1.
right, right.
From the corners, so that's 4 different areas. Okay. So we started minor site plan approval for the lot line adjustment. Rear and side yard setback of 4 feet for 1550 year required for that northernmost property line. Driveway distance from the adjacent lot line for 0 feet from 2302, 0 feet from lot 22, 0 feet to the Elmer right of way, 0 feet to line.
Lot 8, yes, that's correct,
2304.
that's correct. Because that doesn't touch lot 9.
Sorry, we're not counting, it's not a lot.
Right.
Okay, so then screw Elmer.
Yeah.
So it's 2302, 22 and lot 8 with respect to 23. Say a lot, those buttons up there.
No, that makes sense.
Okay, and then. As
that's
far as,
2301, right, that you're talking about.
correct, that's good. As far as 2302 is concerned,
Okay,
it's the driveway setback to 23.01. 8 and 9. Okay. Hey, yes,
And yes, that's correct.
all right, there you go. Okay, so that's the relief. Are you sure you don't want to do anything else? We'll put a full background for you.
No, got one of those, we don't need to.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Okay, and as far as conditions go, you guys will comply with everything in the professionals review reports, but will be an application.
Of course.
Okay. You offered a deed restriction for 2301 to make it. Did you still want to pursue that?
It's into
That was a question mark. I think that's something we can explore in the future.
All right, so we'll scrap that as
Sure.
driveway access easement. I mean, also that's up to you to figure out.
Sure.
So it's scrap that as condition to discuss everything. I'll support those differently and I'll post that. David, that's accepted. Otherwise you're gonna come back here with the zoning board if you, this is something else that's not change.
No thanks.
Okay, am I missing any other conditions? Anything you guys?
well, wait a minute, you dismissed the deed restriction, which I understand, but we're granting the variances, so why aren't we seeking a restriction on 2301? I'm just wondering,
Well, they're not offering it, the board feels differently, you know.
well,
Let me know.
we are gonna have to grant variances. I'd certainly like to see a restriction. All right, it's part of it, basically, it's a separate, it's basically you're aggregating one property, and then the next, when someone comes in to develop the next piece of property, it's like, oh, well, now you're dealing with steep slopes everywhere and variances, and it's like,
Steep slopes and wetlands. There's not much that's gonna be able to be built
yeah,
there.
So
but one would say that about Mill Street too, it's like, no, there's a way to beat it, okay, so.
our understanding is that the stream, as it comes through the property, makes all of that wetlands and it's developable as of right. So once the lot line is moved, you're not gonna be able to fit an envelope on there, no matter which way we look at it, because of the wetlands. Even if they went for variances on a steep slope, there's no way they're getting,
You can substitute wetlands. You can say, I'm gonna take some wetlands and put some wetlands somewhere else. Did you know that?
with an active stream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, I owned a property where
Yeah,
my
you can do that.
sellers, you take, 5 feet here and you give 20 feet here. But it can be done, but my question is, are there other, is there remuneration that they lose? Couldn't they go and shop it? Do we have the right to ask them that?
To do what?
Well, you can sometimes get compensation for easement.
Well, they
for
can-
Conservation.
They can certainly look to make it green acres, something to give it over,
But if
farmland.
we require them to put it in the deed now,
Yes,
does that take away their ability to do that?
That was sort of my concern, is I don't
No.
want,
No? If it's already restricted, there's no reason for them to.
depends on, which stream it is and whether the organization wants to take rights to it and then preserve it, so.
I mean, the problem.
Look at what you're saying, it's like, oh, well, if they restrict it and it limits their value, well, to a value to who? To someone who wants it.
No,
Are
I
you just saying through the green organization, it limits it, they'll say, well, we don't really spend our budget on it because it's tax.
it's already
Preserved.
restrictive, yeah. So that's why I question, you know. Do we hold off the resolution and give them a week to see if there's anyone, I'm not gonna, who's gonna act that quickly, but. I just don't know that we have. Whether.
Both properties are right under our jurisdiction right now, okay?
Is there anything out there like offer as formal stipulation where as far as protecting or putting some kind of restriction on the three from what's in it?
So, to be as clear as possible, the objective for all of us is to restrict 23.02 from being developed. I hesitated in going forward with saying, let's do a conservation deed restriction, because I want to fully explore what that would mean for, frankly, no offense, I'm not trying to kill you off, but if this were to be deeded as sort of like a testamentary gift to the borough at some point as open space, I don't know that I want a deed restriction on there because that might get funky. It was a question mark for me, but that is the objective. I'm testifying to that. I'm sure he'd be happy to testify to that.
I don't mind with you taking more time to research it. You're gonna need some time anyway to reformulate it anyway. You probably did it, but was there a demonstration that the lot circle will fit, but a building envelope won't, in theory, right?
Not a question for me.
It's a question of,
In conversation with the surveyor,
yeah,
it was once this lot line is moved, a building envelope won't fit by virtue of the wetlands.
Because of the lot line next to the house, or also because of the lot line adjustment that you're making by the gravel area and the waterfall?
Well, not just there, the whole thing is,
yeah, I don't see how, it was all steep slopes anyway.
it's wetlands, a stream, heavy vegetation. There's wetlands at this end,
Well,
and what's the setbacks now for wetlands? And it's
2.5.
There's one setback for development, there's another one, it's the stream type and.
I believe with the lot lines there, as they are drawn today, you can fit with a variance for steep slope
Yeah,
a structure on the upper portion of that lot, because you would be outside of the wetlands right away. After the proposed lot line revision, should it be granted, that would not work, because then if you see where the lot line butts out, you're past that point almost, so you wouldn't be able to fit it.
So you're saying where the gravel area is right now, you could potentially fit the structure?
You
As-
lots of variances, I think.
Well, I wasn't, yeah,
A little to the left
Yes.
of that, yes,
to the left of it,
I think that's right.
but if you were to adjust the lot line as you propose, that would not.
That would go away. That's right. So that is really the reason why we didn't say, okay, you know what? Deed restriction, full vote. I felt like we were sort of accomplishing that just by adjusting the lot line. But we're open to it.
why don't you consider to pile on this line of thinking, why don't you consider a much wider easement? Give 2301 a very large easement down to Anderson Hill.
It's restricted the building.
It just,
Because we're restricting 2302 further.
just creative thoughts,
That's a great.
then it stays under your control, you have the right, the problem is that with an easement is it's So you're in control of the lot, so you can dissolve the easement. So maybe that's not such a great
And
idea.
also, you're gonna make sure the driveway becomes possible with your property owners, so you have more of an area to do.
Right.
For your driveway.
Well, then if they're redoing everything,
Mhm.
do they draw the lot line to include, oh, no, then you lose the access, never mind.
Yeah. No, I do like
It's
that.
insider though, so I mean, if you had you decided, no, I really do, I'll shrink the easement back, like if you had a 50-foot easement, and then you said, well, okay, I can cut this back to 15 because this developer just offered me a whole bunch of money to build
All the
his
same.
new
Change the lot.
technology.
But even if you kept the driveway access here for 2302,
Right,
and you changed the lot line to include the driveway, the rest of the driveway, you haven't given up access to 2302, but you've transferred that part of the land. I don't know if it's all
well, you could
necessary.
do it that way, you could put
Right,
all of the driveway as a flag essentially into 2301, and then you give 2302 the easement
right,
to be on your driveway.
right.
You could probably do it without it become, you'd have to look if it would become a private drive, but an
Right.
easement might be enough.
I would say
That's another way to look at it.
we prefer to go to the easement route, and I just confirmed.
It's just a matter of which lot has what owns the property that's
Right.
there. So that's a nice idea.
How long? It's been years since I've looked into it, to discuss with someone your options for conservation. If we're gonna give them some time to do that while you're redoing everything else. That needs,
That's great. I'm going to uncharted territory here. This is something I've never done before, so.
you know what, Rob Wilson may know who to talk to. He chairs the Environmental Commission.
Okay.
And, if there's, anything green, the borough would be pleased about. So, but he might be a good person to speak with.
Okay.
And, I have, you can probably find his contact information on the borough website, but I have it also,
Right. Okay, that's
because
awesome.
I'm on the Environmental Commission.
That's awesome.
So Chris, how would we proceed with this thing?
Well,
You could talk about.
if you would, that. Final piece for the deposit as far as the conservation goes.
Hmm. Well,
don't know
one of the
what
other
else
things
I-
she wants to talk about,
I guess the question is, would you like that? You can also theoretically, leave it up to the board of professions to determine that whatever kind of route they go for conservation is sufficient.
I don't think is that the?
I'm still not,
Yeah,
or when the easement thing you're talking about, it's kind of complicated. Line.
We're open to that. We're open to expanding the easement.
Another thing I was thinking of, and now that I love the idea, but have a condition in the resolution requires the future development on 23.02 has to come back to either the planning board or the zoning board of hearings. That way they can't nobody can just as a right build something on there without having to come forward first. That's another way.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Even though it's likely they would have to come before one of the two.
Right.
If someone got so creative that they didn't didn't need any variance, then they could just go ahead and get the permit.
You never know, you kind of. Besides.
That changes the regs,
Yeah.
yeah. But that's a good point, and probably, no matter what, I think that should be, that suggestion, we should include that. I guess we could straw poll or talk amongst ourselves a little bit here, but in terms of what's the opinion on the list of variances that survived?
I think the list of variances are not unreasonable, they're pre-existing, it improves things, they need to be able to get into the house, it's hard if they can't. So I have no issue with the variances. I like the idea that they want to conserve this.
Yes.
And I think there's value in having that in writing.
Right.
But having had my own experiences, I think we need to give them the opportunity to explore how they preserve that. And, but we do need certainly, it would be nice to have something in writing, but I think we need to let them figure out what's best for them all around in how they conserve that.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I mean, variances are reasonable. And yeah, you gotta get a good plan, let them decide what's best for the property.
Yeah, I mean, I think like. We wouldn't be having the conversation about avenues to conserve this or green space or whatever, if we weren't having a conversation around the lot line. Yeah, I mean, that would be their decision whether or not to take that approach, regardless of adjusting these lot lines. So, I'm in the camp of letting them pursue that if they choose, but I don't think it's gonna make my decision.
I have no issue with the variances for the pre-existing conditions, and I'm aligned as well with, I think, the rest of the board, that I would like to just see it memorialized that there is attention to conserving, what is it, 23
Is there, so in general, it's all positive. Is there also an option to say that 2302 cannot be further subdivided? Is there any precedent for something?
I have to look into it, Mr. Chairman. The thing is, like, anybody could come back to the board and request relief in that condition you can propose. So. I don't want to give you an answer one way or another, I don't think of it.
No, I'm just throwing ideas out, that's just.
I mean, you subdivide, you make it all potentially worse.
Well, let's say the road committee says we're gonna build on steep slopes, that's where new houses ought to go. Modular, trailer, infrastructure, tiny homes, and there's a whole ridge there, it could be full of tiny homes. I'm just trying to think.
State.
We understand it. Just gonna say, do you know something we don't know? I'm just kidding.
Well, that's limited odds.
Yes. Could I propose that maybe in a resolution, we set a time period for us to explore avenues for conservation, with the end result being that the lot is restricted from development? We're fine with putting that. It's just the avenue by which we accomplish it. That's the question mark. But the conclusion, no matter what, for us, is we don't want this built on. We want this to stay. We want to protect it. We have very little left.
I think I'm okay with that. That would mean we'd actually vote and.
And they could get
And
their house.
a draft, you'd have the magical draft resolution that you've got right there.
It's all, a lot of this is kind of novel. Is that something the board would want to come before the board, or is that something you could leave up to the country to stay with?
Well, I think it sounds to me like we should pass a resolution, and it should include a positional clause that we're exploring the details of how something might be optimally conserved, let's say. They could contact our professionals for ideas, that, of course.
Right.
And then it would be handled with the memorialization of the resolution, I think, because you can always adjust what you originally passed. You can refine the wording, especially if there's a placeholder for it.
Yeah, I guess the question is, do you want them to come back to the board to explain to you what they're gonna do for the conservation? would be the final.
I think it's gonna be a resolution. I would want them to come back when we memorialize the resolution, yes. Now,
So
there would be interactions, of course, between them and you to adjust the wording. Okay, now maybe the wording will be so clear they don't have to, like we figured out a way. Some generous donor is doing something, but they should be prepared that they may have to come back. Especially if it's like, we just can't figure anything out. We tried and so forth, but we just can't figure anything out, so you just have to.
Okay,
So I'd say a placeholder in the resolution.
Would say the worst case scenario is we could say, we're just going to do a deed restriction that it cannot be built upon without compensation, and just restrict it, the property moving forward.
so here's my concern. The board's vote is Thursday, right? And so that we vote tonight. I mean, there's some things you can leave up that is the discretion of the board professionals and township officials, But if we don't even know what the condition is gonna be ultimately, how we can vote, make a decision, this is an open-ended condition, we're gonna determine at a later date, but we can't vote.
Well, no, what she's
It's
saying,
not me.
well, it's really open-ended because she has generously offered that they will have a certain period of time to investigate what their options are for remuneration or other things. And if at a certain point they don't have that, they will agree to a deed restriction. So it's not that, it's
Oh, I see.
open-ended in
So-
time.
Okay, all right, so is the condition, the applicant shall have 6 months to find some avenue of restricting development on the property. Ultimately, subject to the board professionals' approval. And if all else fails, essentially, we'll word it in a much nicer way.
Yeah,
They'll put a restriction on the property depending on the development. Is that,
that's
that's
exactly,
what we're doing?
that's exactly what I.
I think
Okay.
that's.
If they don't have the deed restriction within 6 months, let's give them an extra month to actually formalize that. Then it was the zoning officer, the zoning compliance.
I have another idea, just brainstorming. The house is above this, right? The slopes are down to the stream, right? There is such a thing as a viewscape. And you can get a viewscape deed restriction that says you can't develop in my view. Now, the point is it's you on both sides of the equation here. So I'm just throwing it out as a thought, that's all, that if you wanted to put some kind of deed restriction, and you could put a viewscape deed restriction.
Well,
Right, and it may be irrelevant,
Sure,
it's
exactly.
just
Consider.
like another idea, and that may trigger some other idea that you may have, but.
Sure.
But they would not, you could structure it, obviously, if you did the viewscape, you could structure it in a way where. It couldn't be developed unless the viewscape were relieved, but it's you, so you decided, you woke up one day and decided, oh yeah, develop it. Just another type of restriction.
Right, that's definitely something to look into as well. The be all end all is no matter what. If we can't find some glorious avenue to have somebody come in and have there be some remuneration, we're just gonna deed restrict it, no matter what, that we're on the record. There's no problem with that.
I'll also just consider the finances. There may be a situation, now you've got 2 lots, right? They're both gonna be taxable in some way, right? So, anytime a lot is less developable or whatever restricted, there's relief from, property taxes that you would get some, benefit from. Just keep that in mind that. Whatever.
Sure. Understood. Not terrible news.
All right, so you pretty much itemized the variances. Was there any, there's any other things you wanted to say? I think we're agreeing we should vote, correct?
Yes, we gotta do the public first.
Oh.
Any questions or comments from the public? You good, sir? Yeah. I guess that's the answer.
All right, great. That was questions and comments. Okay.
So one more-
Anything from our professionals, like, just out, okay, you're just.
expanding the deck.
Yeah,
And then you also have to confirm whether you need any permits, you need anything from NJDEP, repairing zone, wetland buffers, so you need. to confirm. Okay, so any NJDEP permits as may be required.
oh, for the deck.
For the deck.
Is it that close?
Expanding the deck.
Shouldn't be an issue because that's completely on 2301 and it's very far away from any of the
Depends
wetlands.
on the class of the wetlands, it's,
Class one.
it says exceptional resource, it's 150 foot buffer. If this is a C1 stream, it'd be a 300 foot current buffer. Doesn't see all.
I'm saying just check.
Just double check.
Yeah, if you check it and it's outside, it's outside. Just need,
Just make sure. Sure.
yeah, and to my satisfaction, to the board engineer says.
Sure. That makes sense. Not a problem.
Okay, so Chris, you would just,
For the quick sum, I'll do the best quick sum of the case. Minor site plan approval. And rear yard setback for the 4 foot dimension, where 15 or 50 is required. That's for 2301, the other variant in 2301 is the driveway distance from the adjacent lot lines of lots 23.2, lot 22, and lot 8. We triple check at 9 is for there too. Very. Yeah, you're pretty far, so. Okay, so that's 23.01. And then for 23.02, just the driveway distance, 0 feet from lots 8, 9, and 23.01, or 10 feet be required. If I can also throw this out, it needs to be safe. Given the interpretation of the board that 1 yard is front yard, which is, they want to be included in the board to include in the resolution, should be some of the effect that should that yard be considered a rear yard. The one with a 35.77 foot.
Or can we just say that we determined that the front yard is facing Elmer? That
I'm
might
gonna
be,
include that, but just as backup, so to speak. The board stating in the resolution, should that, for whatever reason, higher authority determine that yard is not a front yard, but rather a rear or side yard, that they would still have variance from. Does that make sense? Just kind of cover all the basics that way.
yeah, or you could just describe that corner and say a variance at that corner.
I'm gonna come with these.
Yeah, all right.
Sure.
And they're okay interpreting the front as what we have, the setback of 73 feet from her lot to the front, our front. That's okay, right? What's the front yard setback?
Sorry. Okay, so in the event that yard is considered front, side, or rear, they have the relief.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I understand. You'll do the combinations.
Yeah, exactly. We help work the ordinance actually define whatever, what each boundary was, or has to interpret. Just want to
I
cover.
understand. We're just protecting it against, someone, that said we thought about it. A lot of it, I would just also, as it's been said, include pre-existing conditions, that they're not. Aggravating any condition, they're just making
Of course, yeah, that'll be.
making them better. So because I think that's what we're going on. So regardless of what you call it, front, rear, whatever.
Yeah.
It is pre-existing.
It plays into the,
So when you're covering it all,
sir.
that's, I think, the strong point. I think that's what we feel.
thank you.
Okay, and
Then the conditions, as we went over before, applicant will comply with the professional review reports of our work planner and engineer, respectively dated March 31st. Second, both of those are superseded prior memos. Conditions that were in the new memos that weren't already in the ones. The other conditions are hearing. That will revise the plans to show the deck expansion. The applicant about 6 months to explore ways to prevent the development of lot 23.2. Ultimately, subject to the approval of board professionals, or if the applicant's unable to determine a solution for that. They'll execute a deed restriction, report saying some kind of clerk's office within 7 months. And that deed restriction will be subject to review and approval of the board attorney for the expired recordation. Makes sense.
I got one other thing that I just noticed because you mentioned it. So the gravel area where you
Sure.
want to put a shed or something. How are they in compliance with the dimensions from the corners of that gravel? I see 25 feet there, of course, interpreting front versus side and rear, but. And I know it's an ancillary building, right?
What are the side yard, what are the.
So if they were to build a garage, if that was a garage right now, would they be in compliance with setbacks?
Accessory side yard setback.
No, well, they will, let's just check, they're gonna,
It would be good to determine.
if these lot lines, I mean, with like a minor adjustment, then you've got those steps also going down there, like you see the steps next to. You see how some of it goes over to the other lot, just,
I'm just saying to move the lot line now.
they could, it's trivial for them to, well, not trivial, but a lot easier than coming back. To allow a garage with shifting the gravel pad or whatever they'd have to do.
Sure. That's very generous.
Thank you.
Say some more later.
I do appreciate that.
He's brilliant.
Anyway, we're giving them a real workout over there in the code book.
Yes. Changes, registrations on the I'll look it up. That might be faster. Okay. What website do you need to? To the Borough website. Yeah. Well, actually,
I think it's pretty lenient for an ancillary, but
Denise made it faster than anyone else.
super.
You were sitting here with the zoning officer. Why isn't anyone asking?
I just asked Brock, I'd say in Bernardsville, this is so code, so it's like, I'd say, no, that's, yes, again.
This is the contact information for Rob Wilson. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Tonight. Please have it.
Yeah, we're just heading into unexplored waters, so any guidance is very much appreciated.
Okay, R3, no accessory building shall be located here to any side or rear lot line following this, the driveway says 15 feet.
Slow down.
I'm citing the section LD.
accessory structure is very limited in our front yard.
LD-12-23 supplementary regulations and general provisions, subsection
Oh, you got that.
12-23.1 D. No accessory building wall shall be located here, any side or rear lot line following this instances. I listed the represents with R3 is 15.
And this is a side yard as.
No accessory building shall be erected in a front.
Right.
So this would be the front yard.
Now it's
Well-
your front yard.
No, hold on.
Side view.
If we follow the parallel line of the structure, that's the side yard.
Oh, now we're gonna get into the, I'm listening, we're just like, what is the definition of the front yard?
That's of my understanding from today. This line here is our front,
Front, that's a front wall, yeah.
that's facing the room, which means this is our side.
Yes,
So if we draw the gravel is on the side.
I'm
No,
listening.
if you draw a line parallel with the front of the house, it's forward of that.
Yeah.
Even if it's an like Elmer's front yard, if that's in the front yard, I don't know. Hey,
Yeah, no, you're right.
yeah.
It's between, if you carried the line from your front facade. Right, that's not your front facade. If you want to see, but it,
The old front yard and the new front yard would both have the same problem, is what
Yeah,
you're saying. It would be the front yard regardless of the interpretation of. Of your original opinion and our revised opinion. They're both gonna create a compliance issue. What?
Yes, so accessory building.
Yeah, no accessory building shall be erected on a residential lot. Non-habitable accessory structures limited to swimming pools, tennis courts, and garages are permitted in a front yard, provided they are located at least 1.5 times the minimum front yard setback from street property. So whatever your front yard boundary is, you gotta go at least 1.5 times further than.
No, that's.
Not gonna be a problem,
Is
right?
that yes?
What, and the front yard setback was, what did you say?
50 feet.
50?
15.
50, front yard,
Yeah, for principal building at 50.
So we have to be 75 feet. isn't it?
so, and when it's, and so it had to be 75, is that what it's?
That's what I'm saying.
From front,
So yeah,
gotta be from Elmer, basically, to that
Yeah.
corner.
So from Elmer to that corner has to be 70.
if that's your front.
Well, this says it's about 80, right?
No, it's not, it's about 60, maybe, 50.
Looking here, which point, oh, this point's shorter.
Can I
I
ask,
was
do
reading.
you guys have any present plans to put a shed there?
We have ideas in our heads, but no plans have been drawn up or
Do
submitted.
you have a general time idea of when you want to be? Within the next year?
Yes,
Would you like to amend your application or request a variance to permit that while you're here? In front of our location of the accessory structure?
Side, they're okay, right?
if it were side. it was
Side.
okay.
The
That's why-
lowest corner of of the gravel area is 15 feet from the line, the extension of the Elmer Avenue line.
That's why it didn't come, because we were operating and those are side setback.
But it's a great idea, great idea. It's like, buy one, BOGO.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So I guess the shed, not a, you want to put a shed,
Shed.
right?
Do we need it to be a garage? In which
Yeah.
case, the plans have not been.
It works.
Oh, come on. So it's probably a shed. Right now, we would like a shed.
So to the extent necessary, you're amending your application to request a variance, accessory structure. The front yard, accessory structure being a shed.
Correct.
Okay. You got it.
Now that that's our front door, I would like to
That's
amend our
fine.
application to request that for relief.
Well, it would have been the same, it would have been the same problem, even under your original front door. You see, there's that problem.
So either way,
Either way, you were gonna need it.
Okay.
Luckily, you have to catch up language in your notice, so you can request a variance and. Okay,
We would like to request.
And you get 10% off your next.
That varies. I won't say no more applications. Not that this hasn't been listening.
All right, so, did you get through the,
I think we got through all the relief.
okay, the structure?
I guess
You
you're.
know how to write it up basically and so forth, so we can vote on.
One more, public, any public questions or comments, there's a little bit more back and forth.
Oh, there was a little more, right? We got straight.
Everybody's taking a set, is everything. He just wants to go.
He wants to watch the next.
All right, so maybe you
Yes.
got something to say?
It should show where there could be rules of shed on the application.
Revise it for the deck, just put a box on that.
Understood?
Okay.
Well, the impervious, right? Is that what you're talking about? The impervious part?
Yes,
So it's a front yard.
Okay,
yeah, it'll be less than that gravel area.
okay.
you just say zoning, sir, because otherwise, I mean, for a permit, had to deliver that bad news that they needed to come back from.
Yes,
We're lucky.
So thank you.
thank you very much.
So we have conditions.
Yeah,
Oh, we got.
Or can make a motion.
Someone can make a motion.
I'll move. To approve the application for the lot line investments.
It's application 664.
Application, listed in application 661. Second,
Roll call.
With all conditions and hearing those,
with all conditions and references.
making sure.
Mr. Larson, you're second.
Yeah.
Ms. Geller,
Yes.
Mr. Gilio,
Yes,
Mr. Graham,
Yes.
Mr. Malia,
Yes.
and Mr. Morrison.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
You're interested in your research.
And your creative ideas. This is wonderful. We really appreciate it.
Well, thanks to big folks.
Okay, no reviews, second opinion, second swing for visitors, if they want to say anything. No executive session. And so.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Is it Julia or Julia? Is it pronounced Julia or Julia? Julia. Do you know a gender? Or lives in
Who's that?
Down again.